Hello, and welcome to the Champion Faction, where I share my love of Stonemaier Games. I'm Jason Martin, and today I am excited to bring to you a solo playthrough of Stonemaier's newest game, Apiary. Now, I had the pleasure of interviewing the designer of Apiary, Connie Vogelman, back in October. It was a really good conversation, which I'll link to in this video. I highly recommend that people watch that video to get a sense of the design and decisions that went into making the game. Feel free to watch that either before watching the playthrough or after, but really watch that to get a sense of the design decisions. Now that I have a copy of the game myself, I've really enjoyed getting to know the various mechanisms and strategies of the game. I recently posted a review of Apiary, which you can also find on my channel, and I'll link to it below. Now, as always, the solo mode is done by the Automa Factory and includes many different levels of difficulty. It also has an advanced expert mode for each difficulty level that basically gives the Automa more in-game scoring. For this playthrough, I played against the level 3 Automa on normal mode. So it was a bit challenging, but without that extra boost that the Automa would get at the end in the end-game scoring. So to see exactly how challenging this is, let's go to the table and play a solo game of Apiary. Welcome to the spacefaring world of Apiary. In Apiary, each of the players are members of the race formerly known as honeybees that are now known as the mellifera. And as mellifera, we have evolved and taken to space and are building out our hives in space. And in the multiplayer game, we're trying to build the most effective, efficient, best hive, which scores us points. We're still trying to do the same thing in the solo game, but now we're playing against the Automa, as usually happens in a Stonemaier game. So in this game, fundamentally, we're trying to build out our hive. My hive is over here. I just randomly pulled it out. It's the skep. I also pulled out my randomly my faction, which are the Saha. So the Saha will start with one or two fiber, rather, in those green circles, and start with a number 2 worker, a number 1, and a number 1 worker. So 2 number 1s and a number 2, and that's what I have over here. And then the special ability is whenever I retrieve, I can collect an additional income. So basically when I pull my workers back, the farms activate, and usually you can only activate 1 farm per worker that you pull back. This allows me to do the number of workers I pull back plus 1, so I can do an additional 1. So what that means is I'll probably be spending a lot of time getting farms. I may sacrifice some other ways of building up my hive in an effort to get as many farms as I can. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. So like I said, I have my Saha. I start with 2 of these, 1 in each spot. And basically, this is a worker placement game. So the Automa will go first, and then I will go, and we just will keep putting workers out and pulling workers back and doing that back and forth until this honeycomb, these honeycomb spaces are filled. Now this spot's only for a 3-player game, but we play this as a 2-player game. So when all 5 of these spots and all 3 of these spots are filled, then that triggers the end of the game. The Automa and I will each take 1 more turn, and then we'll tally up our points. Now, I understand that the Automa supposedly gains most of their points during the game, and the players, most of their points come in-game scoring. I actually haven't necessarily found that to be true. I actually find that the Automa can score quite a few points in-game scoring, and their scoring, well, this is the for people, for the human players. We get in-game scoring from these items, and then during in-game scoring, and then end-game scoring from these items. And I found that while there are a lot here for me to get, the Automa, let me see if I can pull that out. The Automa gets points for each of the tiles that they've taken, as well as their explore tokens. These explore tokens, they get points for that. And then also for the sector majority of the honeycomb. And honestly, that can be quite a bit of points for the Automa as well. So that's just kind of a description of what I'm going to be thinking about in terms of gaining points. I will tell you, I've played this game solo maybe 4 times at this point, and the Automa gets these carved tiles so easily. They had, I'll show you as we go along, but almost any time that they have a number 4 or level 4 worker, they're probably going to get one of these, and they'll get level 4 workers much quicker and much faster and much easier than I will. And so the majority of these are probably going to go to them, which, you know, I'm going to be playing on normal mode, but in normal or expert, either way, those carving tiles are 7 points each. That ends up being a ton of points. It's not insurmountable. It's not to say that if they get, you know, more of those carved tiles than I do, then they win the game. That's certainly not the case. But that's something that I kind of have to go into a solo game just expecting that they're going to get a lot of points from those carved tiles at the end of the game. And my job is, in addition to building up my hive, getting as many points as I can, mitigating their points in other ways. So as in any worker placement game, there are different spots that I can send my workers to. There's research, grow, explore, advance, convert, and carve. So let me just run through each of these real quickly. Research is just drawing cards, and if I place a level 4 worker here, I can also plant a card. So planting cards have in-game scoring abilities, and they can be planted here. I start the game with 2 available spaces where I can plant cards, but as I place these frames, if I place 1 frame, then I can unlock a 3rd slot. If I place a 4th frame, I can, a 2nd frame, I can unlock a 4th spot. And so research is basically how I get those cards, the primary way of getting those cards, and then also the primary way of planting those seeds cards. I'll explain what the Automa does at each of these in a moment. Grow is how I can get additional workers, pay 1 pollen to get a level 1 worker, which I start the game with 1 off to the side. I don't have access to this yet. Also, 2 strength. If I have at least 2 strength, I can pay any 2 resources to get a frame. So that's the main way where I can get those. Explore is basically going to these different planet tiles, taking the token if there is one, and then flipping over the tile to expose the planet underneath, getting those resources, maybe selecting other resources that can be put on there as well. In the rules, it says to set up with just a stack of tiles off to the side. I actually saw a playthrough, I can't remember who it was, but I saw a playthrough of somebody where they just went ahead and put the tiles face down on each spot. I actually thought that's a good idea. That kind of makes it cleaner. We don't have that stack off to the side. As far as I can tell, and like I said, I've read through the rules, I've played this game a few times, solo and multiplayer, I don't think that we're ever going to use more than these tiles. So I think that for the tokens, there are situations where we might be able to take tokens that aren't on the board. We'll cover that if that happens to come up. But the planet tiles themselves, I think we only use, 8, 9, 10, 11? We only use 11 in the entire game, so I don't see any reason why we can't just put them out like that. So I've gone ahead and done that. Explore, when I place one here, I forgot to mention, with the grow action, if I place a level 4, I can also upgrade my faction tile, which after upgraded, whenever I retrieve, collect an additional income or 2 points. So that could be pretty good as well. So explore, and that's the thing about this game. Whenever you place a level 4 worker anywhere on the board, they usually get you something more, a pretty big benefit. With Explorer, I can put a worker here, and then the combination of these two workers, or just mine, or just the one, if there's only one there, I can move this ship, the Queen ship, to a different spot, collect the token and the benefit that it provides, flip over the tile, or if I move to a spot that's already been flipped, I just gain the resources there. And there are also tiles that allow me to place a resource there from the supply and basically indicate what that planet will provide. And so we'll see that as I get there. Some of them have an additional strength 4 benefit. It's kind of an extra big thing that you're allowed to do. If you place a strength 4 worker there and you land on a planet tile that has a strength 4 benefit, you can take that strength 4 benefit. Advance is similar in that it's the sum of the two here, but you start with a +1 anyway. So you're always going to have at least be able to select from this 2+ column. And so you place a worker here, and then the sum total tells you which columns you're allowed to choose from. So we have 2 or higher, 3 or higher, or 5 or higher, depending on this sum. And again, as more workers are placed here, they'll be bumped down, and then before being bumped back to the owner of the faction. And so that's advance. Also, if I place a level 4, I do all of that and gain 3 points. That's not exactly one that I typically use with a level 4 worker very often, but 3 points can be very helpful as the game goes along. Then we have convert, which is basically trading in certain resources for other resources, or in this case, cards to cards. And you can perform the number of conversions equal to the level of your worker that you place there. So if you place a level 1, you can only do 1 conversion. If you place a level 3, you can do 3 conversions. If you place a level 4, you can still do 4 conversions, but first you teach a dance, which is this. And this is basically create your own conversion. You can look through these tokens, which have different resources and concepts in the game. So it might be a victory point or a fiber or a queen's favor, which we haven't discussed yet, or other resources. And you place those combinations can create new ways to get resources. This one I like a lot, and I think I'm going to try to go for this one where it's the dance of blank and blank for remembrance. Essentially, making honey, giving an alternative way to get honey pods, which are kind of the more difficult resource to get in the game. You can see a regular conversion for honey costs 2 pollen and 1 water to equal 1 honey. So here I might put like 1 victory point and 1 card can give you honey, or a card and a queen's favor can give you honey. So something like that. So I may go for that at some point in the game. And then finally, we have the carve action. This can only be used by a level 4 worker. And you pay the cost of the honey down at the bottom. And then this is basically in-game scoring. Some of these may be more beneficial to a given player than others. What I have found, though, like I said, is that the Automa can get these pretty quickly. And in fact, I'd be surprised if they finish the game with fewer than 4 of these carved tiles. With a 2 or 3 player game or a solo game, you start the game with 6, and these are the only 6 carved tiles that will be out for the rest of the game. So what's here is all we're going to see for the rest of the game. Now for the Automa, this deck of cards, if you've ever played a game from the Automa Factory, they almost always use a deck of cards to dictate what the Automa player does. And it will specify, well, let's just take a look at a card. So it'll specify what are the conditions for retrieving. And if you don't retrieve, then you'll go to the next one down, which in this case is carve. And a lot of these have carve. Basically, if you have a level 4 worker, then they'll carve 3, which basically means they move. They have a way of moving indicated by this little squiggly line. They have a way of moving, and you move 3 spaces and you take that tile. But if they don't have the level 4 of that color, then they will grow. And in this case, and for grow, research, and convert, they just get straight up victory points. They don't actually do the action. They just get victory points depending on what level or what strength of worker they place there. The difference is for explore, they actually will explore. They'll explore 1, 2, or 3 spaces away. They are trying to get these explore tokens. They're trying to capture those tokens. And so one of the objectives that I try to use in a solo game is I try to gobble up as many of those tokens as I can to prevent them from getting that. If they place a level 4 worker there, then they will then they'll do it twice. Now with this card, you'll see, well, if they have a level 4, wouldn't they have already carved? Maybe, but if all of these carve tiles have already been taken, they won't do that carve action. So that's when they might go to explore. And there are other cards that don't have the carve action on them, and so they would then just go straight to the bottom one. Another one that is a little different for them is advance. When they go to the advanced section of the board, depending on the strength of worker, they will take either 1, 2, or 3 tiles from this first column, and then they will basically discard this second column. So whenever, for only the ones they get. So level 1, it's just a farm. Level 2, it's a farm and a recruit. Level 3, it's a farm and a development. And level 4 is one of each. And basically when they do that, they're wiping 2/3 of that particular category. And so that helps kind of clean out and run through some of these tiles a little bit quicker, which honestly sometimes I appreciate, especially if there are tiles out there that I don't particularly want to get. It helps refresh it a bit. So like I said, we'll keep doing that until the honeycomb is filled. Again, we're not using this 3-player only section. Just this middle section and this section on the right, and then we will tally up the points. I should mention the way that we play these cards is we start out by just flipping one card, and then this is what's called the support card, and this tells me what color worker I'm looking at. The Automa uses 2 yellow and 3 gray workers. Officially, they're the gray. They are playing as gray, but they have these hibernation tokens for gray. But they also have 2 yellow workers that essentially count as one player. And whenever they do pull back or get bumped as a level 4 worker, they don't lose their worker. Unlike the human players, the Automa keeps all of their workers. It just returns as a level 2, as indicated by this. There are some advanced difficulties that would mean that whenever they retrieve at a level 3. That feels incredibly powerful. I can't imagine, maybe one day I'll be able to play against that. But today, I am playing against the level 3 difficulty. So the level 3 difficulty, the starting worker strength for gray is 3, 2, 2. And the starting worker for strength for yellow is 3 and 1. And when they gain a worker, it's at a strength of 2. So I think that's everything. Also, Queen's Favor. So I can only store so many resources here. If I don't have a spot on my hive to store resource at the end of my turn, I have to turn those back into the bank. For every token that I do that for, I move up 1 on the Queen's Favor track. And that can be useful because, as you can see, you go up higher on the track and there are points. If you get all the way up to the top of the track at level 25, it's 25 points. That could be, pretty significant. I also find that using Queen's Favor, especially if I use it for a dance, to teach a dance, Queen's Favor can be a really good resource for conversion. So I may want to think about doing that. All right, so with that said, I think that is everything. And the Automa player will go first. And as with in Apiary, the first player starts with 1 point. The second player starts with 2 points. And so shuffling up the Automa deck. And we're going the Automa first. And the Automa, they don't have any to retrieve, and so they are going to research. And they always take the highest available worker that they have. So this is a gray. So they have a level 3 gray worker. And so we are going to put that at research. And because it's level 3, they get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. So that's the Automa's turn, really quick. I should also note, when the Automa explores and they have to put out a resource, they put out the resource that's on the bottom of the support card. Okay, so now it's my turn. Well, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explore first, and I think I'll put out... yeah, I'll put out a level 1, and I'll move right here. That'll give me a wax and flip this over. Okay, so this is what I was referring to earlier. So I'll get a pollen right here, and then I can also select one, and then either myself or the Automa on a future Explorer can fill this one in. But for this one, I can get something else. I think I might get... What do I want? I think I'll get a water. You need water and fiber in order to get those farms. Like I said, I want to get those farms. And so, oh, and also this has a level 4 ability. If I place a level 4 worker at the explore action, I can teach one dance and use it twice. Okay, so if I want to teach a dance, that might be a good way to do it. So put that there, put this water here, and then I get a wax for this. We're going to put that right there. I get the pollen and the water that I just put down. And then this goes right here. All right, so that's my turn. Now the Automa again. Okay, Automa doesn't have, it's basically if they have 0 or 1 worker left here, they don't. They have 2 of each. So this is for yellow. Carve, they don't have a level 4 worker, so they're going to advance. So again, they're going to take the highest value worker, and this is a level 3. They're going to go to advance. And for a level 3 worker, they're going to get 1 farm and 1 development. And so this, or farm, yeah, 1 farm and 1 development. This is going to go into, let me slide these over. Well, I guess I can put them right here. So these are going to go into their in-game scoring. And then they also get rid of these. So these are effectively discarded from the game. And then we fill these in. And, oh. Okay. And I think I am going to advance as well. Let's see. I could put a level 2 out there, which would give me access to any of those. What do I want to get? I definitely want to get farms. But would it be better to gain a recruit? Yeah, I think I might do that. So I'm just going to place a level 1 here. And I'm going to pay 1 pollen to get this recruit. So this is whenever I explore, I gain an additional resource, basic resource of my choice. So I'm going to put this, put it right there, and get that pollen right back. Whenever you build these tiles on your hive mat, you get whatever is you're putting the tile on top of. So there's a pollen symbol there, so I put that there, and I get a pollen. All right. Okay, so this is again for yellow. Now it says For yellow, if they have 0 or 1 worker, well, they only have 1 yellow, so they are going to retrieve all of their workers and get 2 points. So they retrieve this, and that bumps up to a 4, so they now have a level 4 yellow and a level 4 gray. They're almost certain to get a carve next time, unless this card is doesn't have carve on it, which most of them do. So it's very likely that they will get a carve tile next turn. Oh, I forgot to move these down. And they get 2 points. 1, 2. Okay. Where do I want to go next? Well, I'm thinking I'm about to probably need to retrieve. I could grow, although that would be somewhat inefficient. I only have a level 2 worker left, so I could grow and get that 1, but I have a level 2. I'd only be able to use it to get a single level 1 worker. I guess I could do that. Yeah, that might be better. Or do I go ahead and get the farm right now? The only farms that I could get, well, if I place a 2 there, I could get either one of those farms. Either of them look good. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to bump this worker down, place that there, get this farm, which costs 1 water. And where do I want to put it? Might as well put it right there to get that water right back. I don't know that I've played with this particular hive mat before, but it basically gives you a resource every time you build something, so you effectively get some of those, get those tiles at a discount, I guess. Okay, that also gives me 2 storage spots. As I said, if you can't store all of your resources by the end of your turn, you have to discard them and get Queen's Favor. But farms increase your storage. So you start the game with storage for 1 or 2 wax and 2 honey, some combination of 3 pollen and fiber, and 3 water. That's what you start the game with. But these farm tiles allow you to store additional things as well. So I really would like to explore and get a lot of resources, and so that will come in handy to kind of be able to store those up. All right. Okay, so now it is the Automa. All right, well, I got lucky. As I said, they have 2 level 4 workers, 1 in each color, and Carve did not show up. So they're going to advance, which will bump me. I'm okay with that. So they're going to take their highest gray, which is a 4, and they are going to bump me down here. This bumps to a 2. I could put this in the landing area, but you do that mainly in order to be able to take income. You don't get income when your workers are bumped. And so if you want to save up your workers to get the income on a retrieve action, you would put them in the landing area. I don't have enough farms to justify that yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put those right there. So with a level 4 worker going there, they're going to get 1 of each of these. 1, 2, 3. These will go into their in-game scoring, and then they will also wipe these from the board. So those are now out of the game. And this is the only thing that takes a little bit of time, is whenever a lot of tiles are removed from the advanced action, it can take a bit of time to replace them. Okay. All right, back to me. Well, I have this level 2 that was bumped. Well, let's explore. I'm gonna bump that there, put that there. So now I can move up to 3. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to get that token with 2 seed cards. Okay, so this is another one that has a level 4 benefit. Placing a level 4 worker, build 1 farm for free and trigger its income ability. That's pretty good. I might want to spend a level 4 worker on the explore action at some point. This token gives me 2 seed cards. So seed cards basically serve 3 different functions in the game. These are kind of triple use cards. The way that I end up using them a lot are this ability here at the top. Each one has a unique ability that you can play as a free action anytime on your turn. So this one says pay any 1 resource to plant a different seed card from your hand. Oh, okay. So I would discard this. If I were to do this, I could discard this, just pay 1 resource, and then plant this, which actually this one's pretty good because so this is I gain 2 resources, others gain 1 resource. I'm not sure how that interacts with the Automa. Usually they say to remove certain cards from the deck if playing with Automa. Yeah, actually this is one of them. 32, 35, 37, 38. This is card 38. This is one that should be removed when playing the Automa. So I'm just going to put in the discard, draw a second one. Okay, this one's good. So this says refresh the display of recruits on the board. Then you may purchase 1 recruit for -1 for a 1 pollen discount. So that's one way to use these is that for discard them for that special ability. Another way is planting seeds. So the main way to plant seed cards is by placing a level 4 worker in research, but there are other ways to do it, such as this card's special ability. But that basically means you tuck it in underneath your mat, and then it's worth in-game scoring. So this one is one point per resource that I have. So if I have a lot of resources in my supply at the end of the game, this could be worth a lot. And then this one is 1 point per farm. So again, I'm trying to get a lot of farms. This could be worth a lot too. For right now, I'm not going to do anything with them. I'm going to hold on to them. Oh, the third use that they have is you see this symbol in the top corner of each one. I could discard this as any 1 basic resource. The basic resources are pollen, water, and fiber. I can discard a card in substitution of one of those costs if I needed to. All right. So I'm just going to put these right there. No, I'm going to keep them right in front of me. They're off camera, but I want to make sure that I don't forget them for when that scoring or for when they might be useful. Okay, oh, back to this. So I got those 2. I now get 1 pollen and then a resource of my choice. What resource do I want? I think I want another water. Again, if I'm getting farm tiles, they typically cost fiber and water. I'm going to get one of those, put that there, and put this here. So now in the future, whenever I go to the explore action, at that space we'll get 1 pollen, 1 water, just like this. All right, back to the Automa. Okay. All right, this is yellow, and sure enough, they're going to carve. So they have a level 4 worker, and this says carve 3. And basically, they take this level 4 worker, put it right there, and then they're going to start at the top left and then kind of zigzag their way down. But they're going to stop after they get to the 3rd tile. So we're going to start here. 1, 2, 3. They're going to take this tile. If you have no planted seed cards, then you get 12 points. Now they're not going to get the 12 points. They just get a flat 7 points for this tile. So like I said, the Automa gets a lot of carved tiles. All right, back to me. Well, I am out of workers, and so I'm going to have to retrieve. So this will bump to a level 3. This bumps to a level 2, and this bumps to a level 3. And I only have 1 farm, but I'm going to activate it, get a fiber, and That's the entirety of my turn. Back to the Automa. Okay, yellow. If they have 0 or 1, they're going to retrieve all. Well, they only have one worker left. They're going to retrieve this, which it's a level 4, so that means it's going into hibernation, but they immediately get it back as a level 2, and one of their hibernation tokens goes into the hibernation comb. So it goes into the spot that would give them the most victory points if the game ended right now. Well, there's nothing here, and if they were to go right here, which is, they always go in the leftmost spot, they don't get the benefit inside the space. But this, if the game were to end right now, which obviously it's not, they would get 7 points for having the most in this section of the hibernation comb. So that's where they're going to go. So they put that there. That's one less spot for me to go to. I've also found that I can very often win majority in one of these two, but not both. It's really hard for me to get both as the human player. The Automa can place them here quite frequently. So usually I try to get, if I can, get more in this larger section that would give me 7 points. And that way the hibernation comb majorities, if all I get is the majority in this one, I'll get 7 points. And the Automa would get 2 points for this for being in second place, and then 3 points here because they're probably going to get the majority in there if I get the majority in this other one. So that would only be 5 points to my 7, which I find to be a pretty good trade-off. Okay, back to me. All right, so now I have 2 level 3s and a level 2. I think this is the time to grow. So I'm going to place a level 3 there. Now it's a level 3, and I can divide up that strength any way I want to accommodate this. So basically, it's kind of like spending a virtual resource of sorts, being strength. So one of the strength can be here. I pay the pollen. I get a level 1 worker. And then the other 2 strength, I can spend any 2 resources to get a frame. I think I'm going to spend 1 fiber and 1 pollen, and that gives me a frame that I can then use to add on to my hive later on. I'll put it right there. Oh, and also if I get all of my starting hive filled by the end of the game, that's 8 victory points. And then each frame I'm able to completely fill is also 8 victory points. Okay, and since I got a frame, I can now plant the seed card here if I wanted. I haven't planted in any seed cards yet. I think I probably will before the end of the game. I don't know if I'll plant 3 though. All right, so that was my grow action. So Automa. All right, they don't have a level 4. They have more there, so they're going to research. And so take this level 2, put it here at research, and then they get 2 victory points. 1, 2. All right, now I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to advance. So I'm going to use my level 1 here. That means I can choose from any of these. Oh, I like this one. So this on income gives me 2 victory points and a queen's favor, and it's 1 point at the end of the game. It can only store honey, 1 honey or 1 wax. But I already have some pretty good storage going as it is right now, so I don't know that that's a huge problem. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this right here. Oh, I have to pay the 1 and 1. Oh, you know what? I forgot to take advantage of my cartographer when I explored a moment ago. It allows me to gain any 1 additional resource. I think I'll gain an extra water. Hope you don't mind me going back and retro gaming that. Okay, so I paid for, oh shoot, what did I pay for? Okay, after going back and checking the video, I found that I actually had needed to have paid 1 fiber and 2 water. I only paid 1 fiber and 1 water, so I'm paying that again. However, I did not get the bonus that comes from that. And so I'm just going to go ahead and make that a water. So I'm pretty sure that at this point I have all the resources I'm supposed to have. The one I retroactively got for my cartographer recruit benefit on my previous explore action, I paid the 1 fiber to water and then got one of those water back there. So I think we're good. Now we go on to the Automa's action. And let me move these down. Automa's action. Okay, they're doing yellow. They're not going to retrieve. They don't have a level 4 yellow, so they're going to explore. They take their level 2, put that there. And so this means that it moves up and to the left as far as it can, or up to 2, but it will stop at an explore token. So that just means it's going to move right next door to this explore token. And it doesn't get those resources, but it will place a pollen based on its support card. And it also does not get the 2 points that are on this, but at the end of the game, this is 3 points for every one of these tokens that it has. And that's the first one it's gotten. Okay. Yeah, actually, with that in mind, I think I am going to explore as well. And I'm going to use this level 2. Bump that right there. And where do I want to go? I can move up to 4. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I think I'm only going to go right here. Take that one. And okay, this is definitely the lamest. I'm going to go ahead and store this, but go ahead and get the point. This is definitely the lamest planet. There's no strength 4 benefit. There's only 1 spot for 1 resource. I get to choose what it is. What is it going to be? I guess I'll go ahead and make it a fiber. So that's fiber. I'll go ahead and take a fiber for myself. And that's my turn. So yeah, I don't like these very much at all. I don't know how many of them there are where it's that few of resource, but whatever. All right, Automa. Okay, if they have 0 or 1 yellow worker, which they do, they're going to retrieve and get 2 points. So we'll give them their 2 points. They're just retrieving their yellow worker, which comes back as a level 3. And now it's back to me. All right. I have a level 3 worker. I guess I could explore again. Again, I'm trying to, I want to get a lot of resources. I want to get more farms, but I also want to prevent the Automa from getting those tokens. And so I'm going to, or wait, do I want to do that? Yeah, I want to do that. Because if I were to advance at this point, I would bump this level 4, which would go into hibernation. It's going to go there eventually, but I don't want to help it out in that way. So now I can move up to 5 spaces. Let's go up the Queen's Favor track. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to stop right there. Take this. Oh, shoot. I again forgot my cartographer the last time I explored. I guess I'll get a water. And this time, what is that? That is a fiber. And what else do I want to put down? Let's put... I guess pollen. And I get a pollen. And I also get 2 Queen's Favor. 1, 2. All right. And this level 4 benefit, in addition to doing all of that, if we were to place a level 4 there, would gain any 2 basic resources and 3 victory points. So that's not too bad, but not something I'm particularly going to feel the need to pursue. All right, Automa. Okay, gray workers, only if they have 0. Well, they still have a worker out, so they're not going to retrieve. They're going to put this out on grow. Okay, that's going to bump me, make this a level 4. So now I have a level 4. I might want to use that to get a carve. Oh, I don't have the honey. I'd have to get some honey before I can carve. Oh, that's the thing I always forget about this is you got to have the level 4 worker and anywhere from 1 to 3 honey tokens as well. All right, so they placed level 2 there, which gets them 1, 2 victory points. All right, back to me. What do I want to do? Well, I could. Oh, you know what? I think I might want to use this level 4 to explore. Bump myself. That makes this a level 3. And then I can go 1, 2, 3. I can get a pollen and a water. I'll probably need to get rid of that water because I don't think I'll be able to use it or store it. The pollen and water. And it says build a farm for free and trigger its income benefit. Well, I think, I think I'm going to get this and put it right here to get a fiber. Trigger its income benefit, that's 2 points. And I don't have any place to store this. Oh, and I didn't get the actual benefit of the Explorer action, which is 1 water. And wait, did I? No, I did. I already got that. So I don't have anywhere to store this. This goes back to the supply, and this goes up to level 4, which is worth 2 points at the end of the game. All right. Yeah. So I think that worked out. Automa. All right, if it has 0 yellow out, it will retrieve. It does not, so we are going to grow with this level 3. They're going to bump their gray worker back, so this becomes a level 3. And they're going to get 3 points from grow. 1, 2, 3. Back to me. All right, I have this level 3 worker. Oh, let's move these down. Do I want to get another farm tile? I kind of think I do. I kind of think I want another farm tile. Yeah, so I'm going to go. Yeah. Oh, wait, that'll bump them. Am I ready to bump them now? They're level 4. Ooh, decisions. I could convert. Actually, that might be the better move. Yeah, I think I need to convert. I'm going to place at 3. So I can do 3 conversions. Well, 1 conversion for sure. I'm going to get 2 pollen and 1 water to get a honey. That right there. And what other conversion do I want to make? You know what? I could do that again because I got 2 more conversions. I could use 1 conversion to do. Oh, shoot. Maybe I can't. Because I need 2 pollen. I don't have any pollen right now. I would basically use up my other conversion for more pollen. I guess I could get a wax. I already have 1 wax. That would allow me to get, yeah, actually, this apiculture is okay. That's not bad. You know what? I'm not gonna. Well, I'm not gonna get wax, but I am going to trade in one fiber for a pollen, and I get one more conversion. Oh boy. Maybe this water also for a pollen. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so that was my 3 conversions. I now have 1 honey that I could use here, but none of these cost only 1. They all cost 2. So I would need to do another conversion to get a honey. So let's see what the Automa does. Okay, 0 gray. They have 1 gray. It's a 3, so they're not going to carve, so they're going to explore. All right, that bumps this to a level 4. Oh, I might make use of that pretty soon. All right, so they're going to go 3, and they're going to move this way, and then they come back down, and they're going to get this one. Because if they reach the end of their little zigzag pattern, they just reverse it and start coming down this way, and so that would basically put them on this one. So they're going to get that token, and they're going to place a water there. Oh wait, no, this is the support, so it's not a water, it's a pollen. Okay. All right, level 4. I could either retrieve, because I still need another honey in order to get a carved tile. So I could retrieve which actually I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I might as well. Retrieve. And then I can get these benefits that are up here, which would be 2 points, 2 points, Queen's Favor, and a fiber. Yeah, I think I might do that. Oh, and I also get to place one down here as well. Too bad that this one's already been covered up. Getting that free honey in the hibernation comb is really good, but oh well. All right, so I'm going to retrieve. I'm going to pull this one. That goes away, and then I put a yeah, I think I'm going to do this. I get 1 Queen's Favor, and I clear this out. And then I retrieve this, it becomes a level 2. Retrieve this, it becomes a level 4. And I get income for all of these. So 2, 4 points. Brings me up to 9. 1 Queen's Favor. And 1 fiber. And I can store that fiber right there. Okay. All right. Automa. Okay, gray. If they have 0, they will retrieve, which they do have 0. So they're going to get this. This one hibernates, comes back as a level 2. And let's see, where would this go? I think this would go here. Yeah, I think that's right. So that's for that one. Okay, this one goes to a level 4, and then this one to a level 3. Okay, well, they're probably going to get another carved tile pretty soon since they have a level 4 worker, so I better hurry up and do my conversions. I have 2 level 4 and a level 2, so what I could do is teach a dance. Is that really to my benefit, though? I'm not sure if it's to my benefit to teach a dance at this point. I don't know how many times I'm really going to be able to use that. Even if I were to make it something simple and easy to convert to get more honey, I don't know how frequently I'd be able to do it. Oh, shoot. Well, I could go here and get this another frame and upgrade my faction tile. Well, but I need the other conversion in order to get a second. So I am going to convert, but I'm just going to use level 2, and I'm going to use 1, 2, and a water to get another honey. And I can do a few other conversions. I think I'm going to convert 1 fiber to a water, or I can do one other anyway. Okay, so that was my 2 conversions. And I can use that fiber and water to perhaps get a farm a little bit later. All right, Automa. Oh, okay, that's the last card. So whenever they have the last card, then we shuffle. Now I'm hoping that either they don't carve, or if they do, they don't take one of the carved tiles that are particularly good for me, which I haven't really decided which one is good for me. Maybe foundation, which 1 point per resource I have, or structural support, 3 points per wax. I have 2 wax, or no, one. I have 1 wax right now, but hopefully I can use that in other ways. All right. So, Automa's turn. Gray, 0 or 1. Nope, they're not going to retrieve. Yep, here we go. Carve 2. And basically going to start here, go 1, 2. Okay. Well, that's not one that I was particularly worried or wanting to get. 3 points per development. Again, this is just 7 straight up points for the Automa. All right, my turn. I am going to, okay, I have 2 level 4 workers. If I go there and carve, I will basically bump them, but they don't have another 4, so they're not going to be going to carve anytime soon. So I might as well hold off on that, just not do it this turn. What do I want to do? Well, again, I could grow, which allows me to upgrade my faction tile. I might want to do that. But in doing so, I would give them a level 4 yellow worker, which they then could use to carve in their next turn. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think I do. It's risky. This may be a bad move, but I've just given them a level 4 worker. Oh no! Do I want to do that? I don't have the pollen. I guess I could use one of these cards. These are 2 really good cards. I really don't want to waste these, but yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and play that to get my level 1 worker. And then any 2 resources to get a frame. And I think I will take 2 fiber. Yeah, no, 1 fiber and 1 water. And that gives me a frame. And I can also upgrade my faction tile. So now, whenever I retrieve, in addition to activating 1 additional farm, which I really haven't been able to use that yet. In addition to that, I will get, or 2 victory points. So I can either get 2 victory points or 1 additional. I might end up taking that 2 victory points more often than not. All right, now the Automa's turn. And okay, so they have 0. Well, they have all but 1 of their workers, so they're not going to retrieve. They don't carve, so they're going to research with a level 3 gray and get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. All right, now I think is the time for me to carve. So I'm going to go here, bump this worker that goes back to a 2, and they are going to place, I think they're going to go here. That secures them 3 victory points at the end of the game. I need to get some more in here. If I can get at least 3, that will give me 7 for the end of the game. That would be nice. And I have 2 that I'm going to be placing pretty soon. Yeah. Okay, so with that in mind, oh, wait. So I carve, let's see. This is 4 points per honey. That's probably not realistic. 12 if you have 0 or 1 active worker. That might work. That would be in the timing as to whether or not I could do it. 3 points per wax that I have left over. I have 1. I guess I could get more. I think this is my best bet. 1 point per basic resource that I have. And I'm going to put it, where do I want to put it? Well, I guess I can go ahead and put it here. That gives me, oof, all right, that goes right there. All right, that gives me 1 fiber. And hopefully I can just accumulate a bunch of resources by the end of the game. All right, Automa. Oh, have to pay the honey for that. That costs 2 honey. Now we do the Automa's turn. Okay, we're not retrieving. They do have a level 4 yellow, so they're going to carve and bump me. That sends that over here. So I'm going to place my hibernation token. Where do I want to put it? Well, it has to be in this comb. I guess I could. I don't want to wipe those. I kind of want to get some of those. Gosh, where do I put this? I suppose right there gives me another resource, which I'll take water and also wipe these, which I don't know that I don't think I'm going to get any more recruit tiles, so that doesn't really matter to me unless something comes up that is particularly beneficial and giving me a lot of points. Okay, so they carve. They're starting from the bottom, going to carve 2. So bottom going this way, so they'll go 1, 2. Take this one. Told you they get a lot of carved tiles. Now I have a level 1 worker. I think I'm going to get another farm. Place that right there, and I'm just going to get this one, which gives me 2 every time I retrieve. And I'm going to put it, well, got to pay 1 fiber and 1 water. And I will place it right here to get another water. Okay, move these down. And unless they bump me, I'm probably going to retrieve next turn, which should give me a lot of points. That actually is a good thing for me to retrieve because that'll give me a lot of points on that turn. Okay, they have 2 gray workers, so they're not going to retrieve, and they are going to research, bumping their own self. They now have a level 4 gray, and that was a 2, so they get 2 points. 1, 2. All right, so let's retrieve. All right, we're going to retrieve. This one becomes a 3. This one becomes a 2. This one goes into hibernation, and so I can place this right here to get me another resource. What do I want? I don't know that it matters actually, but I think I will take a pollen because I might want to convert to get another wax to buy this apiculture development tile. Okay, so I did that. Now I activate my farms. So I drew back 3 workers, and so that means I can activate. Okay, so I just checked the rules, and I retrieved 3 workers, but one of them was a level 4, and you actually can't activate a farm tile when you retrieve a level 4. Instead, it goes to the hibernation comb. So because I drew back 2 that activate those, I can either activate 3 tiles, or with my bonus, or 2 tiles and an additional 2 victory points. Well, I think I'm going to activate 2 tiles. Well, this one's 2 victory points or an additional retrieve. This one, for retrieving, the income is 2 anyway. So it looks like I'm going to get 2, 4, 6, and 1 queen's favor. So 6 points brings me to 15 and 1 queen's favor. All right, Automa. Okay, yellow, if they have 0, they don't, they have a level 1. Or actually, that should be a level 2. I don't know why I put that down as a 1. So that's a level 2. They can't carve, but they are going to convert and get 2 points. 1, 2. All right, so I have a 2 worker and a 3 worker. We're nearing the end of the game. They're almost certainly, well, they're going to hibernate here and probably this level 4. Oh boy, it'd be nice if I could hibernate once before they get their second one, because that would give me 7. So I don't think I'm going to grow. I'm just going to make do with these last 2 workers. So with that in mind, well, let's convert. Yeah, going to bump that. That becomes a 3. And so I put a level 2 there. I'm going to convert 1 pollen and 1 fiber to a wax, because I'm hoping to be able to get a development tile here pretty soon. And what am I? So it was 1 conversion. I can get 1 more. I think I'll trade in 1 card for a new card. Convert any 2 resources to 1 wax at any time. In game, 3 points per carved tile if it's a planted seed card. That's not great. I suppose I could use that. We'll see. All right, Automa. Gray, they're not going to retrieve. They are going to carve. So that bumps this one. Comes back as a 2. And they are going to place this right here. That's going to be the final spot. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. Well, I might. This isn't carve. That's not likely to get bumped anytime soon. So we'll see. And they're going to go 1, 2, or 1. They're only carving 1. So they get this one. Okay, my level 3. Let's get a bunch of resources. So let's go here. That will give me 2 right off the bat. So I might as well go 1, 2, 3. I get this, which will give me 2 water. And an additional 1. So I get my 2 water. And then whenever I explore, I get an additional resource. So I'm going to get my, let's see, what do I want? I think I want to put a fiber here. So that gives me a fiber. And then my bonus for my cartographer will also be a fiber. Okay. All right, next up. They're not going to retrieve. They are not going to carve, they're going to grow. So put that there and get 1, 2, 3. All right. I think I have to retrieve. I have 2. So this becomes a 3. This becomes a 4. All right. That means I am almost certain to be able to take this if I move quickly. So I retrieved my 2. I can activate again any 2 over here. Let's see. I think this one to get 1 more Queen's Favor and 2 points, and then 2 points and 2 points. So 4 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think that's it for my turn. It'd be nice to get 1 more. If I get 1 more tile here, that gives me 8 points. Obviously, I'm not going to fill these 2 frames, but if I put a tile there, that will give me 8 points for filling my starting hive. Okay, Automa. They're not going to retrieve, they're not going to carve, they're going to advance. Hey, look at that. Okay, gray worker goes right here, and they're going to get 1 farm and 1 recruit. And then they wipe these 2 farms and recruits. Move that down. And 1. Okay. Well, I have a 3 and a 4. I think I'm going to use this 3, yes, to go here. And I'm going to go ahead and get this, which is 4 victory points. And that's probably where I'm going to use most of it. But it says take 3 face up farm, recruit, and development tiles and add them to your reserve. Only you may build them. We'll see whether or not I actually build anymore. I'm not quite sure that I'll have the time or the resources to do so, but well, I can probably build more farms. But taking these 2 wax, paying for that. That also gave me a pollen for placing it on that spot. And I get to take any 3 tiles that are here. What do I want? Well, I might as well just take, well, I don't know that I can build that at all. It takes 2 wax. It'll be 3 points at the end of the game. I should be able to do this. It's only 1 pollen, 2 points at the end of the game. I'll put this in my reserve just right there. Take 1, and then, I don't know, 2, 3. I don't know that I'll get any of these built, but I was mainly doing it for the 4 points on that 1 development tile. And you don't refill these until the end of turn. So I only had what was on the board to go off of. Okay. 0 or 1, they're going to retrieve their yellow. Okay, so this 1 yellow comes back, becomes a 4. They get 2 more points. 1, 2. Now I have this level 4. Well, I could research, which would let me plant a card, and if I did it with a level 4, I would get 4 to choose from, so that could be pretty powerful. I don't think I'm going to carve because that would bump them and give them this last honeycomb spot. So I don't think I'm going to do that. They may end up getting it anyway because they now have a level 4 yellow. They might end up carving anyway. And that won't generate any points for me, that particular tile. So I could either explore or research are really my 2 best options. I already have some resources there. I could just, beef up on resources. Although right now the only thing that I could hold are still some fiber and pollen. I've filled up. I don't. My other farm tiles only store wax and honey. So do I want to explore? You know what? Well, I could explore here, but there's a decent chance that neither one of these um, are level 4. You know what? I'm just going to research and hope for the best. So let's bump this guy 3. That moves to a 3. So now I draw 4 cards, and I'll have 4 cards that I can plant. Okay, pay 1 pollen to gain a level 1 worker. Pay any 3 basic resources to upgrade my faction. No, already did that. Draw cards equal to the number of players, then draft 1 and pass. Oh, that's one that we wouldn't use. So let me draw another one in its place. Plus or minus strength of 1 of your workers. Pay a resource to place a 2nd worker. That's not bad. Oh, okay. If there are none, I just gain 1 extra Queen's Favor. That actually could come in handy because I'll get another Queen's Favor there, which would move me up a little bit more on the Queen's Favor track to get more points. So yeah, that goes there. I'm only retrieving 1 worker, so I can only activate 1 tile plus another one if I want, but the other ones are just 2 points. So I'll get 2 points. 1, 2, 1 Queen's Favor, and then an additional 2 points for my bonus. 1, 2. We finished the round. The player who triggered the end of the game takes the final turn. So this is the final turn. It's the Automa, since they triggered the end of the game. Yellow, okay, they're just going to retrieve. So they retrieve. They don't get anything for their this one going into hibernation. I don't think they get anything for that. But they do get 2 points for retrieving. 1, 2. So before we've tallied up in-game scoring, I'm at 25. The Automa is at 29. So let's score and see where we turn out. All right. So for the Automa's score, they get the number that they start with is 29, where they are on this track, plus 1 point. We're playing on normal mode. 1 point for each farm tile, 2 for each recruit, 3 for each development, 7 for each carving tile. That's what's going to kill us. And then 3 for each explore token. So they have 3 farm tiles for 3 points, 2 recruit tiles, that's a total of 4 points, 2 development tiles, that's 6 points, 5 carving tiles, again, that's killer, 5 at 7 points each, that's 35 points. They only had 2 explore tokens for a total of 6 points. And then the mistake I made with the hibernation comb really helped them out. And so they got 7 here, 3 here for 10. So that gave the Automa a total of 93 points. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to come anywhere close to that. So for me, my base score starts at 25. The number of frames and hives that I filled up completely. Well, I did fill my starting hive up, so that's 8 points. Didn't even get started on the frames, but that's okay. Built tiles, that's the point number on the left side of these tiles that I built, and there's a total of 9 points there. My carved tile gave me 1 point per resource I had left. Well, I had 6 left, so that's 6 points. Seeds, 1 point per farm, that's 4 points. Queen's Favor, I made it up to level 10, which gives me 5 points. My faction ability didn't provide any in-game scoring points, but some of them do. And then finally, the comb, I did get 2 points for being second in the hibernation comb in this area. So that only gave me 59 points. So 93 to 59. This was normal difficulty, or normal mode, I should say, level 3 difficulty. I have beaten this once before at this exact same level. Today, however, was not that day. I got completely smoked by the Automa, 59 to 93. Wow, that was brutal. Looking back on it, I can see a few mistakes I made, but mostly I think I just focused too much on farms and neglected to protect the carved tiles from the Automa. At 7 points each, that's a big deal. Even keeping them from getting a single carved tile can be huge. I got one, they got the other 5. And I also may have benefited from getting my 4th worker earlier. Early in the game, you aren't going to have as many farms anyway, so taking those retrieve actions aren't as beneficial as they will be in later game. So I may have been better served to get that additional worker to do more as the game progressed, especially early on in the game. In any case, despite getting thoroughly whacked in this game, it's still a lot of fun, which I think is a mark of a really well-designed, fun solo game. I actually want to go play again right now. So as I get to that, thank you so much for watching. And again, if you haven't watched my interview with Connie Vogelman or my full review of Apiary, I encourage you to check those out in the links below. And until next time, I'll be making my way to the factory as the champion faction. Bye.